We get the Nova Prospect menu today. Never looked to see if anything happened, if it's just this one room. Hey, strange boy, how you doing? So, let's play some Half-Life 2. With the OP upgraded gravity gun.
Well, Dr. Freeman, under other circumstances, I'd like to think we might have been able to work together in an atmosphere of mutual trust and respect. Certainly, judging from your brief tenure at Black Mesa while I was its administrator, you showed every promise of becoming a valuable and productive contributor to the scientific process.
Let's see if we can finish the game today.
Sure what spurred
this
you
will
to
actually
it,
be the first game I've ever actually finished.
There is really no place in this enterprise for a rogue physicist.
All right. Should be another thing somewhere. Let's go back and top off our health and armor, although we do have plenty. So the goal here today, eventually, to throw 15 Combine to the Combine ball field. Because there's an achievement for it. Right here. Well, I've had a couple days off. I've been worrying a little bit about my cat, who's not in very good shape right now, and also playing some Witcher 3, actually. I'm on a New Game Plus in the game. Oh, it took forever to kill him because I just kept grabbing the balls. She's old, and she has arthritis, and that should be 3. Oh, that's 4. Stop grabbing the balls. I don't... Jesus Christ, I want the bots, the Combine soldiers, not... That's probably got most of it there. Yeah, we're almost to the way of that achievement. So, let's see.
Your mentors are partly to blame, of course. My disappointment in Eli Vance and Isaac Kleiner is far greater than my sorrow over your unfortunate choice of career path. In a way, I suppose you could not have done otherwise. Who knows what seeds of iconoclasm they planted when you were young and gullible, but while they certainly share a great part of the responsibility for the recent troubles, it is you alone who have chosen to act with such willful disregard for humanity's future.
How close are we? We only need one more. Oh, what the fuck? That was like random dumb luck and really bad random dumb luck. That kind of sucked. Yeah, that grenade fucked me. I don't know where it landed.
Destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created?
That's probably one of the hardest parts of our Benefactors. That and the Strider battle.
I thought
there's one more Strider battle, and it's not much cover. Also, happy early Valentine's Day to you. I will be working on Valentine's Day. I think they've forgotten about me. Either that or they have despawned.
I have laid the foundation for humanity's survival. And not as we have narrowly defined ourselves, but as something greater than we could ever imagine. Now, only beginning to glimpse.
That's probably the only other reasonably challenging part of this level.
Look at what you are throwing away.
I don't like how the thing super preferentially chooses the energy balls, because when I'm trying to grab a Combine Soldier, it always grabs the energy ball. Alright, so... this is just about, we're almost done with our Benefactors now. Then it's one more chapter, Dark Energy. Which is reasonably challenging, because it involves 2 gunships, and there's almost no, very little cover, and no way to get energy. So you have to be in good shape before you get up there. So let's make a quick save right here. I want to see something real quick here. I have FPS max set to 240, yet it's going at 145. Do I have VSync on or something? VSync is on. Let's disable it, because I believe by default the driver is set to fast VSync. There we go. Now we're sitting at 240 frames per second. I should probably just remove that cap entirely. Set it to like 700 or something like that. I love the view you get at the top of this climb. Go through, you can peek through and see a little bit of the City 17 horizon underneath. It's very obviously just a painted texture. It's like not even a real genuine 3D skybox. Like most of the game, you see the looming citadel as part of a 3D skybox, but this apparently is a 3D skybox with a painted texture of the city. So, but the idea is you're way up into the way up in the clouds with this. The Citadel is taller than any actual structure on Earth right now. Currently, the tallest structure on Earth is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. It's 2,700 some odd feet high. It's about a half a mile high.
I'll take him from here. Don't struggle. It's no use. Until you're where he wants you, there's nothing.
This is how
you can
tall
do.
Burj Khalifa is. If you were to take
I'm
the Empire
sorry,
State Building
Gordon.
and put it on the roof of the Sears Tower in Chicago, that's about how tall Burj Khalifa is.
Stars with ancient satellites colonized by sentient
Carbon stars.
gas giants.
Most stars are made out of
Inhabited by
hydrogen.
vast
As a matter of fact, hydrogen is
meteorological
the most
intelligences.
plentiful
Worlds
plentiful
stretched thin across
substance
the
in the
membranes
universe.
where the dimensions
like
intersect.
98% of what the
Impossible
universe
to
is made
describe
of.
with our limited vocabulary.
What I've seen is also beyond words, Breen. Genocide. Indescribable evil. Good God.
Well, if it isn't Gordon Freeman at last. What's this? I'll put it over there. You have my gratitude, Doctor. First, you lead me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend.
Yeah, the
Then you
graphics really do
deliver
hold up well. This
yourself?
looks great for a game
If
from
I'd
2004.
known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered hunting you in the first place. Having both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with a Combine.
Dr. Breen.
Huh.
Wallace.
Yes, Judith, what is it?
The bargain we should be making is for Eli's life so he can continue his research.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself. What neither you nor I can do is convince that rabble in the streets to give up their senseless struggle. Yet Eli refuses to speak the words that would save them all.
Save them? For what?
Eli, if you won't do the right thing for the good of all people, maybe you'll do it for one of them.
Alex. Honey.
Dad. Gordon?
God damn you, Breen. You let her go.
That's all up to you, my old friend. Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire species, or will you give your child the chance her mother never had?
How dare you even mention her?
Alex, my dear, you have your mother's eyes, but your father's stubborn nature.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a Combine portal.
Go ahead, Breen. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
Oh, it's hardly the worst. But you might find that hard to believe once you get there.
It isn't necessary.
I agree. It's a total waste. Fortunately, the Resistance has shown it is willing to accept a new leader. And this one has proven to be a fine pawn for those who control him.
No.
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
How about it, Dr. Freeman? Did you realize your contract was open to the highest bidder?
Gordon would never make any kind of deal with you.
I understand if you don't wish to discuss this in front of your
Look at the
friends.
detail in the textures in the
I'll
eyes.
send them on their way, and then we can talk openly.
Don't struggle, honey.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Alex, sweetheart.
Judith, what do you think you're doing?
We're doing what I could never do alone. We're stopping you.
Yes.
Oh, the plot thickens.
They know you betrayed them. They'll turn on you. Judith, Dr. Mossman, please.
I'm sorry, Wallace. You're all out of time. Don't.
Hurry! Dad, hang on.
You fool!
Watch out, he's gonna...
No!
Dad!
Oh, no. Don't worry about me, honey.
There's no time, Alex. He's on his way to the portal. You'll need this.
Dr. Mossman, Judith, look after my father.
Don't you worry.
Dad, I'm not saying goodbye.
Never.
New decor. We have the clock and the bust over there.
Come on, Gordon. Let's go.
Put the other bust over there next to the other one. There we go. Two brain busts and a clock. Oh, let's put the globe up there too. First, let's see if we can rotate the globe. There we go. Put that one. No, that doesn't fit there. Let's put it in the chair. Hey, nominal velocity.
We haven't known each other very
Doing alright.
long, Ben.
Just
I know
about
you
done
didn't
with
have to do this.
playing Half-Life 2.
I had to rescue my father, but you... Well... Thanks for coming after me.
It's me you should be considering.
Hey, listen.
I can still deliver.
That's him.
Not without your help. The portal destination is untenable. Surely you can set the relay elsewhere. There's no way I can survive in that environment. A host body? You must be joking. I can't
There
possibly.
he is.
Oh, all right. Damn it. If that's what it takes. Just hurry.
I forgot what his host body was in Epistle 3.
Oh,
Mark
shit.
Laidlaw's fan fiction for Episode 3.
Damn it, not again!
I love the wave.
The gravity gun. He doesn't have a clue, does he?
Well, welcome to the channel.
I wonder where he's going.
Do you like Half-Life 2? It's my favorite game of all time, personally.
Oh my god. This is the Citadel's dark fusion reactor. It powers their tunneling entanglement device. We'll never have a chance like this again. We've got to
No,
stop
not
Dr.
entirely. The reason I actually started this stream on Christmas Eve, playing through this game, because I made my Steam account specifically to buy Half-Life 2 on Christmas Eve in 2004. So I figured on 2004 I would stream Half-Life 2 since that was the game that I made my Steam account for.
Don't forget to charge up your suit.
But yeah, this, like I said, this is my favorite game of all time.
Do your worst, Gordon. But be careful.
A lot of people like Half-Life 1 better than Half-Life 2. Personally, I prefer Half-Life 2 because it takes a lot of the ideas from Half-Life 1 and refines them. Like, I really did not like all the platforming puzzles in Half-Life 1.
It's Dr. Breen. There he is.
Dr. Freeman, you really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be bathed in deadly particles that have yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten. When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here, in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it is possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible.
What the hell? Oh no, Combine soldiers. Where did they come from?
I don't know what you can possibly hope to achieve apart from your own annihilation.
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
Well, that was exactly what I intended on doing.
I warned you this was futile.
He's bluffing, Gordon. Don't listen to him. Great. Oh no, Breen started his ascent. Hurry, Gordon, before he escapes.
That's a quick save.
Keep going.
I could have told you that was pointless, Dr. Freeman.
Go, Gordon.
Are you still with us, Dr. Freeman? Not for much longer, I think. If only you had harnessed your boundless energy for a useful purpose.
The portal is opening.
I hope you said your farewells.
They are incredibly hard to hit with these things.
Go back, Freeman. You have no idea what you're doing.
Come on, pick one of them up.
Don't know what you'll unleash. You could bring down this whole citadel. Think, man. Think of the people below. No! You need me.
Come on, Gordon. We've got to get out of here. Maybe we still have...
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Dr. Freeman.
the thing with Half-Life 1. The
Is it
like I hated the
really
platforming
that
puzzles, and I
time
thought it had
again?
Half-Life 2
It
did the
seems as
pacing
if
thing much
you
better.
only
Half-Life 1
just
had really
arrived.
long stretches where there was
You've
really not much
done a
combat.
great
Like
deal
on a
in
rail,
small
for example.
time
On a rail, it's just
span.
a long
You've
stretch
done
where
so
you're just not
well,
doing
in
anything.
fact, that I've received some interesting offers.
I mean, I thought the
for
environment
your
puzzles were interesting,
services.
but I much prefer the
Ordinarily,
physics-based
I
puzzles of
wouldn't
Half-Life 2
contemplate
to the
them,
environment
but
puzzles of
These
Half-Life
are
1.
extraordinary times. Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you. If and when your time comes round again.
This is looking to be a pretty short stream, but
I do
I think I went through our
apologize for
benefactors
what must
faster than I
seem to
expected
you
to.
an
Maybe it was
arbitrary
shorter than I remember it. I knew it was always a
imposition,
short
Dr.
chapter.
Freeman. I trust it will all make sense to you. In
But I'm
the
probably going
course
to
of-
end the stream after the credits are over. I don't really want to start
really
episode
not
1 right now
at
because
liberty to say.
I want to
In
like
the
clear some of
meantime,
my streaming
this is where
backlogs
I
before I
get
start new stuff. And right now I have coming up eventually I want to live stream Hellblade, and I also want to do Far Cry 5 when that comes out. Plus I have to finish BioShock. I'd like to do BioShock 2 and BioShock Infinite at some point. And plus there's all the miscellaneous like streams for games that don't have a beginning or an end. Like I'll probably continue to occasionally stream Killing Floor 2, Left 4 Dead 2, World of Warcraft. When Battle for Azeroth comes out, I will probably do the same thing for Battle for Azeroth that I did with Legion, and that's live stream my entire leveling for my main character. The whole 110 to 120 bit. Those live streams are not they're not archived. They're like all hidden because I didn't want to exactly leave them up. It probably would be boring watching 4 6-hour live streams or something like that, because I think I did it in 4 sessions, like 2 levels per or 1 zone per, something like that. It was mostly there to be interesting. Thank you for the sub, Nominal. You know, I like some of the, I think I like the closing credits music for Half-Life 1 better. I do have actually a retail Half-Life 1 CD, like from way, way back in the 90s. I actually bought it back then. I had a PC that was capable of running it. I think I had at the time. I think I actually did have a Voodoo too, and I was able to do it, but I think I bought that shortly after it came out. I had to do it using the software renderer when it first came out, and at low resolution, it was not the best experience. I didn't have a super high-end computer. It was decent though. When Half-Life 2 came out, I had a mid-range system. Episode 1 and Episode 2, it was a mid-range system.
Lamar,
This PC has been a collection of upgrades since I built it in 2010. The only thing that is still in this PC since 2010, actually, though, is the motherboard. Like everything else I've changed. When I built this PC in 2010, it was 4 gigs of RAM, an i7 930, a GTX 470. The 480 had just come out. You know, the 480 and 470 had just come out. I got a GTX 470 for it. I had 1 terabyte of hard drive space, but it was set in a mirrored RAID array. I had a 22-inch 1680 by 1050 monitor, 60 hertz refresh. Most of those components are actually now in a secondary PC that my mom uses to play World of Warcraft. It has different memory in it. The 4 gigs of memory that was originally in it is not being used at the moment. It has the old monitor, doesn't have the old video card. The video card is actually the GTX 470 died within 3 years because it was such a hot running card. It actually became thermally, like, it was thermal damage. It eventually became unstable. Towards the end of its life, I had to underclock it and crank the fan up to 100, 80, 100% just to get it to run stably. It was like crashing all the time. So I ended up replacing it in 2013, I think, with a GTX 660. It was around that time I upgraded the memory from 4 gigs to 12 gigs. And that's the memory that I'm running in right now. I have since upgraded the GPU, the 660, again to a 1070. My CPU, I've replaced the 930 with a 980X, which is now overclocked to 4.1 gigahertz. Monitor that I'm currently using is a 144 hertz 1080p monitor, although I also have a 60 hertz 4K display that I'm not using, mostly because the GTX 1070 can't really drive 60 frames per second 4K gaming on anything other than old games. Half-Life 2, it's fine. Bioshock, it's fine. But like Doom 2016, it's like sits right around 35 to 55 frames per second. But right now I'm just sitting at 1080p at higher frame rates. I really like the 144 hertz, but to be honest, I think I would prefer the 60 hertz at a higher resolution. I think the best happy medium I think would be a 1440p. Kind of want a 1440p monitor. But all that is, I'm gonna wait for GPU prices to come down because of cryptocurrency mining. It's just not feasible to upgrade a PC these days right now because of GPU and RAM prices. So I'm just gonna use this one until these things come down. So in the meantime, what I'm probably going to end up doing, like my next tech purchase is going to be a new phone because my current phone is over 2 years old and about the end of its software support life. So that's what I'm looking to get in the next couple months. Nominal, have you ever played Half-Life 2 Update? It's a fan-made remaster of Half-Life 2. The changes are subtle. It retains the look and feel of Half-Life 2, but it adds better fog effects and things like that. Definitely something I recommend trying out if you haven't ever played Half-Life 2 Update. Go look at YouTube videos for it. It's really cool. This is vanilla Half-Life 2. But let's see, what do we have left for the achievements? Counter sniper. I missed one sniper, and I know exactly which one it is. I'm gonna have to replay it sometime to get that one. I don't know if I'll ever do zombie chopper. Not because like the only part of Ravenholm where zombie chopper is like kind of like an iffy thing is the mines. The mines, the later part with the combine, also the stand your ground part at the top of the building where Father Grigori is sending up the cart. Yeah, Half-Life 2 update is on Steam. You can pick it up on Steam. It's free if you have Half-Life 2. So if you have the original Half-Life 2 on Steam, Half-Life 2 update is free. Let me see if I can find the link for it, and I'll put the link in chat. Hold on one moment. I'm going to pause the stream briefly. That link right there is the link to Half-Life 2 update in the Steam store. If you click on that link, you can go to the Steam store and get it. Like I said, it's free if you already own Half-Life 2. So if you already have Half-Life 2 in your Steam account, you can just pick that up, install it, and like it's a separate install, so it doesn't conflict with Half-Life 2 or anything like that. My Steam library has pretty much anything by Valve. I have the entire Valve package. As a matter of fact, kind of an interesting thing. I don't care for competitive multiplayer games. I generally don't play them at all, even though I have all the Counter-Strike games. And the reason for this is because I got, when I put in my Half-Life 1 key, I got all the Counter-Strike games and Day of Defeat and Ricochet and all that stuff when I put in my Half-Life 1 key, Blue Shift, which I never actually bought. Opposing Force, which I did originally buy. So it came down to, like, this was probably about a year and a half ago. I wanted Left 4 Dead. I wanted both Left 4 Dead games. So my options were to buy the Left 4 Dead package, or to buy the Valve Complete package, which I had 16 of the 19 games. So when I bought Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, to buy them with the Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 package, there weren't any sales going on. It ended up being a 25% discount between the two of them. The two of them put together was $40. That 25% discount made it $30. But because the Valve Complete pack is a bigger discount of 55%, it ended up being $25 to get Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2, and CSGO. So I have CSGO in my library because that was the cheapest way to get Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. So I have a lot of games in my Steam library that I won't play just because I got them as a byproduct of getting something else or something like that. But I've probably played only about a third to half of my Steam games. Some of them were just really cheap, like 40 cents or 50 cents. And some of them were just games that I mean to play I haven't gotten around to yet. Let's see. Like, I have Killing Floor 1, but like Killing Floor 2 is more the same, so I mostly play Killing Floor 2. I have... It's just kind of interesting because the number of games I have more than, say, 24 hours on is just only a couple, like maybe a handful. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17, 18, 19 games over 24 hours. I actually have the retail Black Mesa, not just the Black Mesa source, the free mod. I actually have the Steam Black Mesa. I got it during the winter sale just a couple months ago. It was dirt cheap. It was like $10 or something like that. It was a pretty big discount. It was totally worth it. I've already played through it. There are parts of it that make it seem harder than the original Half-Life. Like the grunts do, like they don't have quite the accuracy that they do in original Half-Life, but they do more damage, and it uses Half-Life 2's superior AI. So there's a couple parts they will hit you instant you come out of cover, so they still have that hyper awareness that they did in Half-Life 1. So it kind of takes the cheap parts of Half-Life 1's AI and applies it to Half-Life 2's AI, so it's challenging. But yeah, most of the games I've played a long time tend to be open world games, but of course they usually require a big investment. Like I'm sitting like the number one game on my Steam played list is Lord of the Rings Online, which I haven't played in like 2 years. But the reason why it's sold 459 hours, I spent probably dozens of hours just downloading patches. Yeah, I like Black Mesa Source. I think the Crowbar Collective did a fantastic job of bringing their own style to Half-Life, but it's recognizable as Half-Life, and they did a good job of retaining the atmosphere of Half-Life 1 while also being something new and fresh. So, they did a fantastic job of that. I had a few criticisms with it. I think Half-Life 2's superior movement definitely made the platforming sections a little more bearable than the original Half-Life, because the movement in Half-Life 2 is definitely considerably better. It seems more fluid and easy to control. Just Half-Life 1 felt a little floaty sometimes, you know what I mean? Mostly due, like, for example, in Half-Life 1, if you're on a moving platform and you jump, you stop moving, the platform continues to move. That's actually not how physics works. In Half-Life 2, you continue to move with the platform, because that's how physics work, But yeah, eventually I will probably get around to completing my Doom 2016 stream. I only have 2 more levels on that. I have Vega and Argent Denur is all that's left. That's an ultra-violence playthrough. This Half-Life 2 was on normal. Most of the games on stream, I tend not to play on the harder difficulties just because, like, one, I don't want to be stuck in the same area over and over again if it's a particularly tough part, and it's like, I've noticed from watching other streamers that it's kind of more entertaining to see them progress forward, So making it too hard it's not as fun seeing someone die in the same spot over and over again. I've heard of Operation Black Mesa, the opposing force. It's a mod for Black Mesa, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? I haven't played Opposing Force in like probably 5 years, so I don't really remember it all that well. I was thinking about playing it again at one of these days. Arma 3 is probably not going to be the kind of thing that I'm into. I'm not a big fan of tactical shooters. That's just not my style. I prefer the more arcade-style, action-oriented ones, Half-Life, Doom. I've played through Call of Duty World War II. It wasn't terrible. It was not fantastic. It's just like when I was playing Call of Duty World War II, I'm like, this kind of storytelling would have been great in 2004. Just because Call of Duty hasn't really deviated from their formula in, 15 years. Like games that I haven't really streamed, but I definitely need to finish. Like I still haven't finished Metro 2033. I haven't even really started Last Light. I need to play through the Wyatt timeline of Wolfenstein 2. I've already played through the Fergus timeline, not on stream though. I have to do the BioShock games. Oh, it's standalone? Did they do like a green light thing, or just I don't know. Yeah, I've finished Half-Life 2, and this actually stands as the first game that I've ever actually finished on a stream. But at any rate, This ended up being a really quick stream because it did not take me too long to finish the game. Didn't even really run into any major difficulties. The only iffy parts were the Strider battle, but that wasn't even that bad. But at any rate, I'm going to let you guys go because I have to go to work tomorrow. I don't have to be to work too early tomorrow, but I enjoyed World War II, and the reason why I bought Call of Duty World War II was because the single-player campaign got rid of the regenerating health. I hate regenerating health in games. I absolutely hate it. The regenerating shield in Bioshock Infinite killed the game for me. I really prefer the first Bioshock because of that. Like that's one of the really good things I could say about Call of Duty World War II is it had a like the fact that there was no regenerating health. The other thing about it is it's well optimized. It runs quite well. I was expecting it to be like not to get the frame rates that I was getting, and I was getting over 100 frames per second most of the time. And I have an old PC. Like, have you heard of Project Borealis? If you've never heard of Project Borealis, you may remember last August, Mark Laidlaw wrote his Epistle 3 blog, which was basically a summarization of what Episode 3 would have been. So there's a bunch of people actually making Epistle 3, Episode 3. It's called Project Borealis. There's a website for it, and one of the things that I kind of really iffy about is they're actually making it in Unreal Engine 4. They're not making it in Source. And one of the things they're doing is they're actually hard coding into the Unreal Engine all of Source's quirks. You know, things like accelerated back hopping and the way the physics works. And my thought on that is it seems kind of like a lot of work to actually write Source's quirks into Unreal Engine 4 when you can just use Source. You know what I mean? If you can greenlight it or whatever, then you could just use Source or even Source 2. But their argument is they want more up-to-date graphics. And I'm like, well, Titanfall and Titanfall 2 look pretty good, and they both run Source. Source is a pretty flexible engine. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it either way because it'd be really nice to actually play the conclusion to the Half-Life 2 saga. I think that would be satisfying at least until like they can continue the saga, but as long as there's closure to the existing story, I won't be as disappointed with Half-Life 3. My big gripe with Valve over the cliffhanger from episode 2 has been the fact that they haven't addressed the fans' concern for, 10 years. They could have just said, hey, we don't have anyone who's interested in doing it, or given fans say that it's not going to come out. They didn't say anything. They would just shut up whenever anyone brought it up in an interview. And that's not a cool thing to do to your fans. It really isn't. But yeah, I was intending on finishing this stream, so thank you for subbing. Thank you for liking. Don't forget to stop by when I stream again. I don't have a set schedule. A lot of times I just want to sit down and play a game, not necessarily stream it. Like, I don't want to be on mic or anything like this. But when I decide to stream, it'll be there. And I welcome everyone to watch and, whenever I stream. So at any rate, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.